Well, thanks, Steve, for joining this call. I've been really excited to have you on and ask you some questions and give you an opportunity to share with YieldNodes investors and members kind of your perspective on things.
Gladly,
Yeah.
gladly. Thanks for the invite, Joseph.
Yeah, and you are in Italy right now, right?
I'm in Italy, yes. In the northern part where people speak mother language German but have Italian passports. So we speak both languages, but we feel more connected to the German people here.
Right, right. My family's from Sicily. I'm second generation Italian here in the US. So okay. I like going to Italy.
You carry the Italian genes. You're like a little bit laid back, drinking cappuccino, enjoying the day, taking it easy, so to speak.
Exactly. All right. Well, good. I guess we can start by just kind of a broad strokes overview, kind of what your perspective is on the current crypto sphere, crypto landscape with, conflict in Eastern Europe, Bitcoin correction over the last 4 months. What do you see from your perspective?
Actually, to my surprise, everything is pretty stable. Like we were expecting a bigger fall in cryptocurrencies because YieldNodes right now is doing very well. I believe Bitcoin today hit a level of, I think, $44,000, one Bitcoin. So it had bigger ups, but it also had much lower lows. And it's fluctuating. And as long as it is moving in such levels, it's very good for YieldNodes because on a rule of thumb is when Bitcoin is falling, we also lose in value because our coins and ecosystems are pegged to Bitcoin value a little bit. But we lose less, and when Bitcoin is going up, we gain more. So it's kind of, it defies logic a little bit in that sense, but this is the methodology that we use, and this is how we work with our coins. And so as long as it's fluctuating between such values and it's not going down to a deep level and not recovering, we are doing pretty well. And I was surprised because the conflict, of course, made everything breaking. You saw like the conflict between Ukraine and Russia is now extremely big. One of our guys, Igor, our head programmer, is also Ukrainian, and he left the Ukraine before the conflict happened, thankfully.
Oh, good.
And so no one of the YieldNodes core team is in Ukraine at the moment, but some have friends and family there, parents, and the situation is tense. So from a humanitarian standpoint, it is sad what is going on.
Yeah, it is.
YieldNodes wise, it's okay.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've got Russian and Ukrainian friends here in the States, and they're all very concerned about what's happening there. I hope that
exactly, because Putin is ruining things, like people got together very slowly over the past century almost. And now with this decision, Russians that are outside of Russia or Russians that are not politically involved, they are going to become targets. We also have Russian friends as well, but you can already feel tensions, coming. Like we have a few Russian investors in YieldNodes who came to me and made big donations because we started a donation program. And they said, please do not hate us because we are not involved. We do not know what Putin is doing here, and we want to give and help. So it's heartbreaking,
Right. I saw that you had that on the back end there, the YieldNodes. When I logged in, you had that option to donate. That's really good. It's really good to see you guys doing that.
Yeah, we made a small program, and we decided whatever members donate, we will also match 100% from our own funds. And people are donating quite big amounts, so this is very nice to see. Urs is also in Germany at the moment, my business partner and the Masternode, and he acquired a few buses. I think we have 4 now, the Sanomi buses that we're going to use also later on for the hub that we constructed in Malta. But right now we use to help the refugees cross the border and do some good work, something to contribute.
Right.
And
yeah, that's excellent.
This.
Excellent. Really good. Thank you for doing that. How did the team come together? Steve. What was it that inspired the four of you? I guess as the core team. I'm sure it's expanded. Um,
It's expanded quite far. Like this is now we YieldNodes is in its third year, I believe. So we grew quite a lot.
wow, that's awesome. So what was the motivation or inspiration to come together around this, and why masternoding?
When we started out at the beginning, it was just me and Urs. Like I met Urs in Malta years ago, and he was doing masternoding after having done in Ukraine. So we get back to that, where he had a mining operation, and this was during the times when crypto was in hype mode, when everything flew very highly, and he had hardware and was running an operation there. And afterwards came the fall, which burned him because he used to buy the mining rigs and mining machines. They're very high cost from the Chinese, set them up for low electricity in the Ukraine. And then Bitcoin crashed in completely. I believe back then it was 20,000 and then crashed down to 2,000-3,000, really low. So he needed to lick his wounds, so to speak, and came to Malta to start anew with the business. And this is where we met. I was running Bitcoin ATM there in a shopping mall, and he was frequently exchanging masternoding gains because he learned from this, from the mining, that the operation can be profitable, but you should not spend so much money on hardware equipment that is becoming outdated very fast.
Right.
And with masternoding, it's more algorithmic problem that is solved. It's not like you need potent hardware to masternode, but a small PC with a Linux installed that is part of the network is doing the same. It's generating the coins needed for it's generating coins and is participating in this network that is needed to push the economy forward. And this was a much better solution because it requires less electricity. It doesn't require expensive hardware. It does require servers, but nowhere near the prices that these Chinese rigs costed. And when I met him, since he's a very open guy and he's a complete, I wouldn't say freak, but he likes to talk about hardware and the process, and blockchain is a real. He's in informatics since he's 18 years old, and now he's 57 years. So you can imagine how much passion is behind it.
Yeah.
And at the beginning when we met, I was a little bit skeptic, because I always got a lot of business offers, and I thought, okay, he's making so much every day. Why would he need me? And why should we make a business out of this? And there were many questions floating around. And after a couple of meetings, I grew more and more accustomed to the idea because first of all, I saw him doing it. I saw him doing it on the PCs. I saw the returns he generated. So I joined in with some funds, and slowly we got to the idea, why are we not building something out, like a pool community out of it? And this is essentially how it all started. And this was in October 2019 when we launched the beta program. And since then, we grew, new members came to the team. We acquired coins because the model changed, but this is probably another question that you're going to ask. So,
right. Well, I think you touched on it earlier, but, I looked at the average yield since October when Bitcoin started declining, but average yield of, I think, 8.4% per month, which is pretty phenomenal considering what Bitcoin has done. Can you speak to how it is that you accomplish that?
It's a mixture of many things. It's not only masternoding, but we also went heavily into staking. Like we do stake and masternode. It's a hybrid system, as well as we acquired our own memberships and stakes in different projects outside of masternoding. So we do not only choose a coin and say, okay, this coin is making 20%, let's masternode it. We also took a stake in the coin. We took over part of the development team. We give the coin a use case that it's working towards. And we list the coin in our own ecosystem, including it with our other coins, which is strengthening its ecosystem because we can balance them out against the other coins that we have. And so it became a really big project. Right now, we have about 60 people in the company. So it became really big. And what we do is we also, next to the masternoding staking, we appreciate the coins. We work actively towards giving them a lot of exposure on portals, on top list on charts and increasing their value while masternoding it, because it hedges against itself. When you generate, say, 50% more coins per year, but at the same time, the coin appreciates by 50% instead of having a downward trend, this is how we generate these incredibly high returns.
Interesting. We'd crossed paths without knowing. In the past, you had a company that was doing currency trading, bought Fat Turbo. Did that experience weigh into this in terms of your business model?
I did, I think, affiliate marketing since I'm also 18, 19 years old, all different kinds of products. So the FAP Turbo was one of my, I think is now 12 years old almost. So it's one of our biggest successes. It was a long time before I met Urs. I did it with my other business partner. The website is still active. So that is essentially a Forex bot that is trading currencies and was or used to be very famous. And it's still active, but it's not nowhere near as advanced as coins or these coin projects are. So it's still being sold. It is a product that you can buy for $140. If you're unhappy, you can get your money back. It's protected by consumer rules from the affiliate market platform. So it influenced me. I believe it influenced me in a way that this is how I became an entrepreneur online, selling projects and products and trying to get better at it. But it was always, we made a project, we sold it, it was working very good at the beginning. It worked less good as times moved on, because especially in the Forex market, when you find something that works and a lot of people jump on it, it loses its efficiency, because it's like the liquidity goes down and you cannot make it as profitable as it was. And so I believe the reviews of FAP Turbo are not as good as they used to in the past. And also very few people purchase it, but we still decided to keep it active and keep it online.
Right.
Because there was some controversy about me and FAP Turbo, I believe. There was some review that said, but this is the guy from FAP Turbo that used to sell this bot and something like that.
Right. Well, given the landscape of the geopolitical world now, and business cycles, which we've been here in the United States, we've been on an uptrend in the market in equities for a while. Real estate seems to be in a bubble, and crypto seems to track equities, the market. Do you see the trend of you being able to maintain your yields continuing, even if there is a pop in the real estate or equities markets bubble?
I believe so, because we have a very unique model. From what I see, we do not have anyone who is trying to do a similar thing that we do, because the good thing is that Urs is a very acute businessman and he has a lot of experience, and he was from the start favoring the point to acquire and aggressively grow, because with the yields that we make, we need to grow. Growth needs to be there, because you cannot generate money out of thin air. And as long as we grow and expand, we can generate these yields. However, given the fact that everything else is doing so only, we are still surprised that Bitcoin is at 44,000 now, and it's keeping quite steady. It can also be, there's many different factors, and this is all speculation. But I don't know if you heard the news that the Russians are being sanctioned heavily and have been disconnected, mostly, not all banks, but most of the banks have been disconnected from the SWIFT system. So it can also be that more and more people start seeing cryptocurrency as a way, to store their gains in a way that is not touchable. So this can also help, not only from Russian side, of course, but in general, that people see, or the strike in Ottawa, in Canada, the striking where they started closing bank accounts and trying to close people's accounts. That people start realizing more and more that blockchain or crypto is a solution to secure their gains. Not like before, the thought process was I put something in Bitcoin, and as soon as I make any gains, I remove it to good old fiat money. And now it's more like, but fiat money has inflation. Fiat money is freezable. Fiat money is being taken from me, or when I want to do a wire transfer, they do not let me transfer my own money to where I want it to go, for example.
Mm.
So the thought process is slowly shifting. And as long as we have people that are shifting more into cryptocurrencies, into coins, into Sapphire, into noding, into this new way of economy, then this model is growing. And as long as there's growth, there is yield that can be made. We have good reserves. We built good reserves through the past years. And what we see that could happen is that the yields eventually will diminish, like in a controlled way, because as ecosystems grow, and I think if you do a compound calculation over the next 20 years, you see that 10% a month is not feasible on the long run. So the yields could shrink, but overall we are very positive, especially if our products mature finally, you know, the use cases that we have.
Sure, sure. That makes perfect sense. Well, I know you're big into transparency and risk management. That's obvious if anyone looks at the site, and I've seen it myself the last 6 months participating with you. Can you speak to YieldNodes from a risk management standpoint for investors, like what they should be considering and how you address that to manage risk for the investors?
Yes, gladly. So the first thing that I want to point out is that it is a high risk participation model. So there is definitely high risk, and there's no way that we should sugarcoat this. So when you decide to partake in masternoding, you should not take all your money, sell your house, you know, mortgage your ground or whatever to invest in it. You should take a small portion of funds, something that you really consider high risk and that will not impact your lifestyle when you invest it and lose it potentially. And set that in, like plant a seed, let it grow, maybe compound it for the long run to see how it grows, and try to understand the model and try to understand the science outside, because I am in the program. So I'm obviously biased because I'm pro YieldNodes. And at the same time, I try to do a decent thing, which means I need to warn you and try to give you as close as a picture that I believe can make you understand the risks that you're taking when investing in YieldNodes. And this is, to me, the best way to assess for yourself is, first of all, that we do these audits, that we can prove twice a year that the money that we need to have to pay out the sums and the compounds is there. And a few investors that we invite to our headquarters can always see that on behalf of the full community. And so what we do is we do it's called a raffle. There's a randomizer script on the web where we enter everyone that is interested in becoming an auditor. And then we let the randomizing number decide. We choose 5 people, probably this time more, since the hub in Malta is being completed and we have more space to have more guests. And those people can then come and they will see, but us will show the wallets, the holdings, the notes, everything, and the sum. I will show the total investors, the total money deposited, the total compounding. And then there's an easy calculation to be made if these sums match, or if we have more, we're not a Ponzi scheme. If we have less, then it's bad. So and from this perspective, we did this now 2 times in the past. The first was online, and then we decided to step up and did the next one as a meeting point in Malta. That was last year in November. And we're going to do a new one in a couple of months. And people then can they need to sign a paper that they're not going to disclose the official figures, because this is something we do not like to float around the web to attract all kinds of, hackers and evildoers, so to speak.
Sure, no, understood.
Trying to attack the system, we don't do us any favors. And it's more or less something that should remain for our members and the people that are in the system. We do not use that actively to promote YieldNodes or engage in, look at us, we have the numbers, come here, invest. We don't want this kind of publicity. So this is more something that we do on the inside.
As an investor and an affiliate, I really appreciate that approach. And you're 100% correct. you don't promote that information. You really have to you have to be looking for it. It's in your newsletter, but you're not using that as a marketing tool.
Exactly. We have it in the members area as a link because it would just attract all kinds of people that see, okay, we need to go head over heels into this, we need to invest, and we do not need that growth. It's not needed, we are a self-sustaining company. We do not need excessive amounts of money. And if we have a little bit from some people that are trusting us in what we do and in what YieldNodes is, this is the best way to grow and have an additional income.
And it's manageable. Yeah.
It's manageable, exactly. And it doesn't become some overblown operation.
Yeah. Is there a point?
Don't forget, Joseph, sorry, I'm interrupting you again.
No, it's okay. Go for it.
Because don't forget, we need to build on the use cases. So we are constantly under pressure because we are finalizing the first use cases and the first projects with the coins. So we are also on a timer, so to speak. We do not need excessive amounts of funds when the first projects did not yet come to fruition. So we want to show something and have the first projects out, and then we can grow in a controlled manner. This is also one of the reasons why we are not building banners, shouting to the world, hello, hello, here we are, and now come.
Right. And will there come a time where you don't accept any more participants?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
I cannot say when, and I do not want to make this artificial, you need to invest now or the doors will be closed forever kind of market shenanigans. But at some point, we will leave if we can. We will leave ample time. This can come quickly over the course of a couple of weeks or slowly if we can manage it, but there are different factors at play. For example, if coins explode to the upside very quickly, that all the assets multiply and the coins multiply, that we, for example, would close the doors for a time or for forever, I do not know. It's a matter of discussion with Urs and the team that is measuring the money flows. The same would probably apply if coins are falling to a super low that we do not want to accept more money and leave it in a controlled way as we are. So there are a few factors at play. It depends on the coin values and how far we came with the projects, how far we came with the regulation.
Right.
A few factors.
Sure. And of course, you've obviously got a proprietary approach to this. So another reason you don't want to be revealing those numbers. I mean, so that makes perfect sense. What is the distribution of funds for the team versus the investors? How is that distributed?
Like we have this key behind it. Now that the operation grew, there's different factors that come into play. For example, we have banner sales on our top sites. We have fees from our exchanges. We have sales from the merch store that is out, the YieldNodes shirts that a nice guy from the UK is running for us at 100% of the money that is generated flows into the pool. All the money from masternoding, staking, sales, banners, fees, etc. comes into the pool. And at the end, 85% of the profits flow to the investor and 15% go to us. So this is the key metric at the end of the day, how we distribute. Right.
And does that total pool of income include the Sapphire coin and the exchanges?
Exactly.
Acquired? That's the interesting. What a great model, really. When will the next raffle be? I'd like to put my name in there for that audit.
We will send out an email, Joseph. Okay. Like to be as transparent as possible. We will invite everyone who wants to come. Then we put together the email list, and then I will film again a YouTube video where I'm using the script so that it's completely random. And then the people who are in there will be invited. But we also, if you have the time and if you're willing to go, since you're a person of public interest, so to speak, you're doing this video and you're engaging yourself. And if we have the space, I will need to sit and speak with us how many direct invitations we can give. I would gladly invite you as well, outside of the raffle.
Okay.
To join if you have the time.
Yeah.
You can come to Malta, of course, because there's the headquarters.
Yeah, no, of course. I would enjoy that opportunity.
But also we would like some diversity. Last time when we used the script, it shows like it was 4 guys from UK and 1 German, and the German guy couldn't make it, so I needed to re-raffle that guy, and it was another UK guy. So basically, everyone from UK was
Okay.
coming.
Right.
So we wanted, but this is how the randomizing works,
Right.
We
Right.
wanted.
Sure.
So you're in the US, right?
Yeah, San Francisco area.
Okay, that
Yeah.
would be nice
Yeah.
to
And
join.
yeah, I'd be happy to. I'd love to
We
make.
can grill on the terrace. The office has a nice terrace on top. Where is always organizing some grilling with a nice sunset, looking over to the
Oh,
palazzos of
beautiful.
Malta. It's really
Nice.
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, and I'd be honored to participate in that for sure. I've been in business for 40 years, so I think I would could contribute at least some objective eyeballs to the
Yeah. And
situation.
you're free to voice your opinion. If you're not convinced, you can say openly, you guys,
Yeah,
this model is not going.
That's what impresses
It's
me.
not working, and suggest everyone to divest as quickly as possible.
Right.
Also possible, yeah.
Yeah. Unlikely, but possible, I guess. So how did you come across taking over the Sapphire coin? What and
That
how
is now, I think, 2 years old. Sapphire is our leading coin. Like, it was the first experiment that we did. Actually, it used to be owned by Canadian teenagers that were using it. And it never had a real goal, like to become a stable leading coin. The goal was simply just to generate a coin for masternoding purposes. I believe they had no real prospect with that coin in mind when they launched it. But we acquired it for very little at the time. And it was the first steps where we started getting together a decent team of programmers, led now by Pedro, our main programming guy in Portugal, where the Sanomi IT services is located. By now it's already grown. We have 5 programmers there now that are taking care of coin and developing the coins, because we need to advance the coin tech to get better and better with the coins itself, because we have so many and they're all based on the same protocol. Right. So this was basically the initial, and as we started working with Discord, Masternode this coin and giving it the use case of being the lead coin of the Sanomi network, and at some point probably having stable coin like values and properties at a later stage when it's grown bigger and has more influence in the market. It came a long way, I believe. Right now, the market capitalization is close to $300 million. It's
fantastic.
Ranked number 155 worldwide.
And what is the use case for the Sapphire?
It's a consumer coin that you can use to purchase and sell wares, but it's also going to be in the future the stable coin itself, which is holding the value at a certain peak level. We have not decided yet which peak level this is going to be, but it's going to stabilize itself on a level and going to support all the other lesser coins that are now in the system.
Awesome. Wow. That impresses me as I when I was researching what you guys were doing at YieldNodes, it seems like more of an entrepreneurial invention, more like a startup than just a masternoding project where.
That's right, because basically we do everything that is falling under. Like, each coin is getting a team leader, then the programmers and the use case, and then it's working on a project. And as soon as this project then is finalized and the coin can be put to use, it will show that we are trying to do something different than, if you think about it, the old ICO models, where they said they're going to do something, they collected a lot of money, and then nothing came of it. Right. And so in the meantime here, with this model, people partake. They masternode, they already gain coins, they already take the part in the ecosystem, they're active in the Discord channels, they're part of the team, and they want to see the project come to fruition. And it's a very different thinking. It's a different approach.
Yeah, I like it. So that as you're continuing and expanding in the field, you guys see opportunities. You might make a business decision to acquire that next coin or exchange or
real life project, because the Sanomi is harking back, like we want to connect the coins with real world businesses, because if it's going too much in the direction, a coin is masternoding here, and then, for example, in DeFi, you put money inside, that you get more liquidity in another coin, that you get in another coin, and it's all online mumbo jumbo kind, that there's no real use case or no real benefit connected to the real world. And this is what we want to change with the Xenomi and YieldNodes. Like YieldNodes is a financier with its coins, and the Xenomi is mostly connecting to, we have great ties to solar, battery, and renewable energy systems.
Wow.
And we are in talk to do different projects, like different lighthouse projects in different countries, and then expand on that. For example, in Malta, last time when we were there, we had a short meeting with the energy minister, and we're going to do there a lighthouse project if they let us. But I already said too much, and I need to go back a little bit, because there's a lot of things that we're trying to do with the technology, and we will be very happy. We soon will be unveiling the first energy coin, hopefully next month. And then I have some more news for you.
Excellent. How many different projects do you have under management right now?
I think we have over 20 now, over 20 different.
Right. And that includes the 2 decentralized exchanges?
Yes.
That you acquired?
Yes.
Yeah.
Buyrake, and the other is Heliobank, I believe.
Yeah.
But we also want to expand on that, because the exchanges are also working towards, letting you have your coins in a decentralized way where you can exchange them and you retain ownerships to become a fully on decentralized exchange.
Oh, great. Great concept. Let me go to my questions here. Yeah, you've already talking about your future acquisitions.
If there's something interesting, we aggressively acquire, so to speak. It makes sense,
Right,
in the current market climate to expand in this direction.
When we were talking about the auditing mechanism that you have in place, you mentioned briefly about the Ponzi scheme, but I'd like to address that directly, because that's a question I get asked. And obviously the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world are central banks, and what they doing, especially out here in the States with the
slow rolling Ponzi's. Just printing money, and it's funny when you're getting accused of that. But I do understand people thinking that, because of the extremely high yields that we make. So the only way for us to counter that is basically with the audits that are showing that at least we cannot guarantee what the future will bring. But at least that we have done in the past is that we generated more money that is needed to pay. This is the best route that we have to show that we are not a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So we'll keep doing these audits. And on top of that, people can use, when they look at our coins, when they go to YieldNodes and they check the coins that we have and they check the value in these coins, they can quickly assess, just by looking at the curves and how the coins are growing, that a certain value must be there. Like not only the value in the coins, but the value of the websites, the value of the exchange, the value of Sapphire in itself. There are some pointers where you can see, okay, YieldNodes, according to what I'm seeing here and what the market is giving me, I can assess that it's doing good. This is helping you.
As a statement from the CEO, funds that are paid out as yields to investors are from returns that are garnered from your projects.
Exactly.
Funds are not being paid to investors from other investors.
We are stealing not from Peter to give it to Paul, as the sentence goes. It's not one of those schemes that I can assure people.
Okay, good. And thanks for that. I appreciate it. That wasn't a challenge to the integrity of the team. It's just something that
no, it's good, and I like to address that. However, I also like to always point out about the risky nature, because this can change in the sense that even though we make a certain amount of coins and a certain yield, that is the gain is composed from the value of the coins as well as how many coins you have. But if there's a panic in the market, or let's say cryptocurrency is being forbidden by a government and the cryptocurrency value tanks down by 2/3, really low, and there's no chance of it growing back in the coming months, weeks, months, something like that, then we have a problem, because it doesn't matter if you generate a lot of coins. The coins have not a stable value. So there are factors that make this the high risk program it is. It's not dishonesty and it's not stealing from clients, but there are a few real risk parameters in there that you need to be aware of when doing an investment with us.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I like you, I prefer people know about what those risks are before they put their money in.
Exactly. I also made, during my career as an entrepreneur, I have invested in countless programs. And the real reason why I'm trying to be as transparent is because of the anger that you feel and the stupidity when something fails and you get lied to your face about it, like, no, there's no risk, it is 100% guaranteed, and you're doing well, and you feel anger, and I think this anger is justified in that moment, and because you could prepare differently, you would go tackle any investment differently if you could paint a good risk picture, and you get a as in-depth as possible explanation on what you're getting yourself into, because you can plan, you can assess, you can limit what you're doing here, you can put some assets there, and diversification is always your best bet to be a successful investor in whatever you're investing in.
Right. And the key there, any kind of investment, is the team, the management. And that's who you trust. Now, you, to the point you were just talking about, you have, I believe it is that if the yields drop below 5% 3 months in a row, you return a person's stake. Is that, or an original investment? Is that what?
That is correct, but it's taken a little bit out of context, because it's being read as a guarantee against whatever. And this is only when we started, this is still a clause from the initial to guarantee, because if the yields would go under 5%, it would become unattractive for a certain amount of people and they would like their money out. So if we, for 3 consecutive months, generate less than 5% a month, because the market is not giving us more return, you can get out at that point. You write us an email and we unlock your funds and you can get your return. But if the market is crashing in a broader scale and it becomes very dangerous and the funds are falling to the ground, this is not a guaranteed protection against against losses, so that it's not misread. We have in the system, I don't know if you saw it inside, we have an emergency withdrawal, which is working at minus 25%, which is really for people, it's intended for emergency situations, and like you have an operation or something is coming up and you just cannot wait these 6 months to unlock your funds. You can use that, for example. Or if you are with us since a couple of years and you have grown big sums of money and you really need your money out, you can leave at big profits even in under 48 hours. This is for those two. Else, I really do not recommend it, because if you can wait, it makes sense to calm down. And
Sure. And can you explain that? Why the basis behind why it takes 6 months to unlock the funds?
We have built this because we know that the markets can be shaky sometimes, and 6 months is a nice time window for markets to calm down, to balance themselves out, because everything is going in this curvy way in life. There's ups, there's downs, but there's eventually an up coming again, unless cryptocurrency would be completely erased, which we do not believe. So this 6 months is like a buffer area where you can calm down, where you must calm down because you cannot withdraw. Or if you withdraw in your panic mode at 25% loss, which flows all back into the pool. This is not something that goes into our pockets. This is back to the pool, to the benefit of all other YieldNodes investors, which can wait. And so this is like a buffer, like a cushion of safety, so to speak. This is why we implemented it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not because we desperately want to hold on to the money. This is
I got it.
Not the reason.
Yeah, understood. So what is the way for people to get started? Someone's considering this, they've assessed the risk, they've decided they want to participate. What is the process for that?
Like if they have no ideas about cryptocurrencies, I assume, right? I think like from a brand new approach, from a an approach where people have no ideas about cryptocurrencies. I admit it's a little bit cumbersome from the starting, because we, for many legal reasons and to not open the so-called Pandora's box, we do not accept fiat money. We do not accept bank wires or direct money transfers, because we are not a regulated company. We use cryptocurrencies to Masternode, and when we would go that route of accepting fiat, we would have all kinds of troubles with banks freezing assets potentially, and all these kinds of issues. So what we do is we use, either you can deposit via Bitcoin straight, if you know how to use Bitcoin, and if you plan to do that, you can go, and I would advise opening an account with an exchanger like Binance or Coinbase are the most famous ones on the market, and exchange your money there directly. It's a long verification process. It's also a little bit cumbersome, but this is how it goes. This is what you need to jump through, unfortunately. Or as a secondary option, you can use a payment processor that we have integrated. These are third-party payment processing companies that allow you to use a credit card to purchase Bitcoin that is in turn sent to us, and we can then masternode for you. But this has considerable fees. Like, I believe it's between 2-3 all the way up to 7-8%. It depends which payment processor, which country you live in. We have a few options inside YieldNodes. This is for those people that would just like to put the minimum, the 500 euro, the seed money, and see how it goes. So this is a great way to do it.
Right. That's
As
good.
I always suggest, go and educate yourself about cryptocurrency, to read on about Bitcoin and stable coins also. There's like this USDT stable coin that is pegged to the dollar, where you can exchange your Bitcoin to, and you have like digital dollar that you can use. We also accept that as a payment, and we also plan to pay out in the future, like 1 month. Next month we probably will have it that you can withdraw via USDT.
Oh, great.
As a solution.
Great. Yeah.
So it requires a little bit of learning. So my advice is, there's a great guy in our team that is also making the merchandise that I'm wearing, you know, the YieldNodes shirts from the Senomi store. He's running a very nice Facebook group where you can get all kinds of help, where people that are long-term members with us help other members. It's not officially made by us, it's made by members for members. And I would go there, and these people are great. They help each other out. And they take a lot of the workload of us, because we get a lot of email. I'm still answering email myself with the help of a few supporters. So it's appreciated if you get the answers on the web.
Sure. And any newbies to the crypto world, I can help. Anyone watching this video, just feel free to reach out to me through my contact at blackbuckcrypto.com. I can guide them. I've been helping people get into crypto for 4 or 5 years now. So good. Steve, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like people to know or to hear? Anything you'd like to say to anyone considering joining YieldNodes or evaluating it now?
As I said, I think it's very good. It's great to diversify in a few different opportunities. So do not drop. I think you heard it 1,000 times, but it's always worth to repeat it. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. This is very important.
Yeah.
And if you can, donate a little bit to the poor people in Ukraine that are fighting against the dictator. Nothing against Russian people. Most of them do not know what is going on or have no say. So try to be understanding, because everyone that you see is carrying a load of problems with him, and we do not know what is going on. So if you can, try to help. And yes, thank you for your time, Joseph. It's been pretty nice. I hope I answered all your questions, by the way.
Yeah, you did. Excellent.
Do you have something on your mind that you would like to ask me?
No, I think I've got it all. Actually, I thought through my questions. I've shared them with you. You've answered.
And I think you want to go skiing. Don't forget. You said 3 hours to drive.
Right. So 2.5, 3 hours to get up to the resort. I'll be skiing all day, and then I'll look forward to it.
Count if you travel so far.
Right. Yeah. Catch up on some phone calls, but I'll look forward to an invite to Malta too. That'll be a good experience.
Sounds good. I will speak with Urs, and it depends how much manpower, how many people we can get in there without making it like a convention style. We do not want these,
Sure.
these boiler rooms where everyone is hyping each other up, patting on the shoulder, saying we are gonna,
Right.
don't know, change the world overnight and everyone's gonna be a billionaire tomorrow and these kind of things. Not really a fan, so we try to keep it small. But last time there were 5 people, so I think maybe 10, 15, 20, something like that will be manageable, and I hope I have an invitation for you
Sure.
to join.
Okay, absolutely. And
Put it on the list.
thank you again
Exactly.
for offering the donation program for the people of Ukraine. That's notable, and I encourage everyone to participate in that. I will as well. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Take care and have a nice skiing trip today.
All right, will do.
Bye-bye, okay?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.